Hi, you guys. Yeah, sorry I really haven't been recording. I just came back from vacation, which was definitely an eye-opener for me. I'm really grateful that I did get the vacation and put it in because I was trying to push it off. But I'm really, really grateful that I did because it opened my eyes to some things, and it got me more focused. It got me more focused on my dreams and my goals as far as what I need to do, what I need to relax about, and well, I said what I need to do, like pushing through, and what I need to just leave alone. And sometimes, come on, and sometimes, I'm so grateful for it that God will show you that the best thing to do with certain situations is to let them be. Like, as I said before, you're not in control. This is what I've learned. It wasn't nothing that I just created. This is something that has been done and known before time. Excuse me. That's like construction with our building. Oh, your lipstick is cute. Girl. You doing the most. Okay. So, you're not in control of how other people act or try to, how people react, but you are in control of how you react to their actions or how they react to them or respond to them. Basically, people are going to do what they want to do, and not to say that that's a good thing or bad thing. It's just making sure that, come on. Oh my goodness. So it's basically just making sure that you making sure that you don't allow people to dictate how your life goes. If someone treats you bad, doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That's just their reaction to it. And you have to detach and separate it from it. One of the things that I had the issue with is that I was taking this stuff personally. I was taking it as it is because I was putting people's values and opinions above my own, and that's not cool. And that's not cool. I also thought that after a while, when you get older, I'm not even gonna say the age bracket or anything, because some people learn quicker than other about life, about everything, not just life. Just if you're doing something academically, there are some people who are like 9, 10 who learn things quicker than people who are adults. Same way as with life. So, but you think that once, relatively, for the universal average person, that you change, you develop over time, and you work on yourself, even if it's at a slower pace than others, but there are some people who have never taken the time to work on the 12-year-old that's inside of them, or the 10-year-old or 15-year-old. So these people are stuck in bodies who are 20, 25, 35, 45, some of them 75, y'all. And they have the emotional stability of a 15-year-old. And because they have that, it's daunting. It's like you can't be around it. It's so much toxicity. And it's not like some of it is intentional, because if you just forget about who and what you are and what you're trying to do and what growing into yourself, you've neglected yourself. You neglected yourself. You can't say, oh, my mother did this, my father did that. You just can't. You can't, because there are people who have overcame time and time again, decades and centuries in everyday life. They're getting over it. They didn't have the perfect lifestyle. They didn't have the perfect, it's up to you to work on yourself. The things that you didn't get, no one can give you, and that's another thing. No one can give you something sorry, you guys, I'm walking my dog, of course. No one can give you something that you never received. And just because, and that was another thing that another thing that I got. When people are young, I'm not going to say when they're young. When you're first developing, you don't have all the answers. You still don't have the answers when you get older. You learn as you go. So if, some people learn from their mistakes or go through some things and they learn afterwards. And at that time when they were raising kids or raising a certain type of kid, they couldn't give it to them because they didn't know themselves. One of the things that I noticed is that with myself and with my mother, y'all, this is generational. We both lacked validation. My mother, when she first started, she was one of those people who were very, when people talk about my mother, like before she came with her mental illness, and before that, she was just happy-go-lucky. She was I'm really much like her. Like, I even look like her, but we're really much alike. So, yeah, and she was just very happy, very determined. She was going to be the first first generation, going to college, all that other stuff. So, and got really, really high scores. But because, when you're like that, I don't care what kind of grade you're in, what decade you went to school in, it's the same thing. People will torment you because you're doing something different. You're doing something different than what they're doing. So she did get teased because she was very small. She did get teased. She did get, bottled. And it just grew. Like, it just grew. And my mother always talks about how she wished she never met my sister's father, which wasn't my father. That was like over about like 9-10 years before I was even created. So, but she talked about that, and she was talking about her vulnerability, that, she literally didn't have enough validation. It felt like she was a burden to people. It felt like, and this was also something that my grandmother suffered from too. Yeah, like, she used to say that all the time. We used to like, I don't want to be a burden. And it's like, no, that's not it. Like, but when and this was my mother when she was younger, when she, when she, said that and she started explaining, it was almost, I almost dropped my mouth, because me going off to college, even her shipping going off, it was almost like a hassle. Like, okay, it's a real hassle. Like, it got to the point where it was so much of a hassle. I didn't even try to ask for help the next time it was time for me to go off, or I would just stay at school. People would go back home for the summer. I would stay at school and just pick up a class just to, get by and just go. So, yeah. Yeah. So I saw that, and it was just like, she was just talking about how, people, because she didn't have that validation, you look through a lot of people, and you tend to go the direction of the people because you're trying to accommodate. And a lot of those people, when you're looking for validation and you're feeling like that, your self-esteem is kind of down, but you're surrounded by toxicity. You're surrounded by toxic people who only want to see you succeed if they have a part in it, or only want you to succeed if they can go higher than you, or they can feel like they're more superior than you, which is how she ended up getting drugged and all that other stuff. So, which is a whole nother discussion, but I just wanted to give you guys that insight, because that was something. Come here. You getting the wrong, girl. Sorry, you guys. I'm literally... Go ahead. Literally walking my dog. So I let her roam around in this because it's a big, like, area. So she gets to do what she wants and have her fun and all that other good stuff. Get herself worn out. So, excuse me. So, yeah, I learned that during this week. I also learned that you can be in the same household with someone, get taught the same things, and learn the same principles, and all turn out different. You know, I used to look at that on TV, and you would see it on television. You'd be like, okay, but what did they do that was different? They just chose another option. They literally chose another option. That's it. Oh, shoot. Y'all ain't even got no clips in this thing. Oh, ooh, it's something that's still right there. Y'all, this is literally... It's actually grocery shopping week. When I don't want to get up and do anything. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's just fascinating, you know, and it's about decisions, you know. Everyone can't give you what they have, but what you get, what did you learn from the situation? What did you get? How do you apply it to make your life better? You know, how do you apply? There are people, like I said, who didn't get nurturing, who didn't get that validation from other people, and they still made it. Like, what was the difference? What was the difference? They applied some things that they did get to get where they're at. So, for me, that was the rude awakening for me, because it was like, when I started seeing things all together, you know, I'm dealing with the trajectory of my life, dealing with family, both good and negative experiences, I guess. I started seeing it. I started seeing how decisions really do change the trajectory of your life. It really does change the trajectory of your life, and you can't force anyone else. The thing is, like, when you learn something that is so great, that was the thing that I was having an issue with. You learn things that are so great that can change your life. So you want to share it to change, you know, help change other people's lives. Sometimes that never happens. Someone has to be willing to receive it. So, Lulu. There she go. My dog's so smart. There she go. Good job, girly. Go, girly, go. She know I just want to see it, so she go. Go, Lulu. Go, Lulu, go. Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, I definitely learned. That's what I learned. I learned so many other things. You know, it's so many. Oh, my goodness. Really? It's so many that I learned. So many things that I learned in just those couple of days that it changed my life. And I know people are like, dang, you just went to Houston for freaking 8 days and you went to Haiti for like 2. Like, what did you literally learn? I learned a lot. I learned a lot about a lot of things about how life is, how in control you really are, you know, how you really give access to things that go against you. How do you let that fester by not reacting to it, by not changing, by not, you know, responding to certain things, you know, because this is one thing that I have learned, that people always talk about financial stuff too, but it goes in everything of your life, every aspect of your life. Oh shoot, can't zoom. We know you can't zoom. I'm just trying to get you to hold the doggone phone because I need to roll up these doggone bags that fell out. So the thing that I knew is that if something comes negative, or you see something negative and you don't respond to it, it's actually as an agreement. You know, it's actually as an agreement. You know, say for instance, you feel tired and You know you're supposed to go and exercise, and you're like, well, I'm too tired to get up and do this. You're agreeing to being, to gaining weight. You're agreeing to lay down. You're agreeing to not. You're saying no to not, working out or not exercising or not putting the time in to do what you want to do. It's just like that. It's where you going? So, yeah, those are some of the things that I literally. Come here, Lulu. Some of the things that I grasped onto, and it's like you can no longer. I think for my age, you can no longer say. You can say that I've messed up in certain things and I want to get better, but you can no longer. It's kind of weird around this time. Don't nobody be even out here. Then all of a sudden you see these people come out here. I'm telling y'all. When I say weird, no, I don't even consider it strange no more. I don't even consider it strange. And this guy definitely ain't homeless. Because this is where the homeless people be at. This early in the morning. Alright. But like I said, good job. Look at my dog. She done sat down and everything. Okay, let's go. But, like I said, I don't, come on. I don't, what was I talking about? I'm sorry, I done got brain fart. Oh yeah, when you get this, like I said, when you get a certain age, you have to put in the effort. And because you put in effort, or because you did not put in the effort, that's going to result in how your life is going to be. And a lot of people get really upset. I even had to check myself in certain aspects because you're like, this should have happened to me. And why can, look, no cross, no crown. You literally have to put in the work. Don't assume anything. Don't assume anything. Yeah. Come on, Choo-Choo. Let's go. Don't assume anything. Or anything that's given or stuff like that. It's just, no. One of the other things that I learned during this trip, is that life is short. Life is really short. I was sitting down and I went out to a restaurant in downtown Houston. I was with my cousin and we're sitting there eating, and we go outside because she wants to be outside, even though it's scorching hot, y'all. Don't go to Houston in June if you're not ready for the heat. Like I thought I was, because it's been hot in the Midwest a lot. But, yeah, no. But I did get to go down there during Juneteenth. So I did get a chance to go and, go to Galveston where everything was at, And I have a lot of relatives in Houston and in Galveston. So, yeah. Got to do that. But like I said, we were sitting there talking, and she was talking about how her kids, which was another lesson, was talking about how her kids, I was saying that I didn't feel like I was accomplishing anything, but she was telling me how her kids was talking about how they remember all the times when I used to fly, that I used to come back with all kind of gifts, airplanes. I used to buy them airplanes. I'll buy them like PlayStations and stuff, but like peanuts, the small things. It wasn't the big things that they really remembered for the most part. They talked about the PlayStations and stuff like that, but for the most part, they were really happy about was the cookies. Those little Biscoff cookies that they used, yeah, they still have. Depending on what kind of aircraft and what carrier you're on. They still have the Biscoff cookies. So they were talking about that, and the peanuts and the sodas and Frescas and all of that, and how we used to have picnics. So it was just like, okay. And then they started talking about, the other things that I accomplished, that I didn't even look at myself. So, and I was like, dang, I'm sitting over here wallowing in self-pity when there are people who haven't done half of the things that I haven't got the opportunity to do. You know, just like there are some things that I see with other people doing the same thing, or, you know, people who had less making strenuous comebacks, like tremendous comebacks, like just doing what they do. Just doing what they do. So, ooh, my ear, y'all. So, yes. Yes, that is exactly what I needed to have for growth. But it let me know that time is short, and even if you have a bad moment, life is not all about having good, spectacular moments. It's some of the small things that really matter to people, you know, and it should matter to you, because the small things turned out to bigger things, you know, which was one of the reasons why, you know, our little cousin went to work. I'm going to be just like you, old man. I was just like, dang, even though he said I was kind of, you know, collecting with my money, I'm just very calculating, okay? Very much calculated. So, yeah. What else? Oh, yeah. Also, the last part that I learned, forgot, it's already 20-something minutes, is that you don't know. You need to do the best that you can. And I said this before in another video, but this really hit home based off of what I just said before. You need to do the best that you can every step of the way, because you don't know who is watching you. You don't know who's watching you, you know. And I'm not saying you don't know who's watching you as far as a go Lulu, go girly. As far as a go girly, go. She's just going over. Usually we run in together, so that's why she's stopping. Good job, girly. So, like I said, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's seeing you. You don't know, you know, I've literally had jobs where I got a job for doing some stuff, and this is recent, doing what God commanded me to do, where it took stuff out of my personal, you know, I literally, like, as far as giving blankets, doing all this other stuff, you know, without even having a name, without people even knowing me, I literally was just doing what God told me to do, and literally got a job from it. So you gotta be on alert, you know, and understand that nothing, and I mean absolutely positively nothing, happens on an accident. When I say nothing, I mean nothing happens on an accident. So you want to take every single thing. Lulu, oh, there she go. Okay. Go, Lulu, go. You want to take everything, overall, take everything that you learn and apply it to your life, and do the best that you can every single moment. Because like I said, I didn't even know that those kids were watching, and at this moment they're like, what, 14, 17, you know, and they were really watching me as far as how I conduct business, how I, like, everyday life. So, and I've had that revelation, like, you know, a couple of years ago when I used to volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. There was a girl that came and started speaking to me, and you're like, wow, the fascination of, you know, having somebody to think so much of you to, you know, you help somebody become what they're supposed to be. You help them, or you've been a part of their journey, basically. You've been a part of that journey, because we all got to go through this thing. But yeah, that's most of the things that I learned. I'm not going to put so many other things in the description. I just wanted to tell you guys what was going on and why I haven't been on, because like I said, the vacation, and because when you go outside the country, like, literally they want to see all your documents, your papers. Like, it was Oh my goodness. And then there were people who did not make their flights. There were people who did not make their flights because they all of a sudden got on a no-fly list. I've worked. Now, you guys, I told you guys that I used to be a flight attendant. When you are on the no-fly list, I met some people, I know some people who was on the no-fly list like years ago. You get a letter. They gonna tell you, so you don't even try to get yourself back on it unless you're some kind of terrorist or something like that. But now, Lulu, come on. She getting by the water. She been done tried to take a swim again. But yeah, unless you are a person of a huge threat, now it's where you don't even know until you get to the airport. And there were some people, like I said, who got to the airport, and this wasn't going to Haiti, it was coming back. It was coming back into the country. That's what freaked me out, because some of these people were on my flight. Listen, because it was only like 4 flights on the airline that I was on that was coming out of Haiti, unless you went to Dominica. And it was weird, y'all. It was weird. If I could say the least, it was so weird. When I say so weird, just like that, it was so weird. Yeah, they didn't know until they got back on there and tried to come back. And when you are on a no-fly list, baby, it's held through high water to literally get off. Some people never get off, and you can get on it. Like I said, you can get on there for different things, obstructing the flight attendants or the passengers while they trying to perform their job and stuff, and just being that kind of, if you do that a good amount of time, you could get pushed off. Usually they just push you off. You can't fly on for that day, or you get on the next one, and then they might detain you if it's, come on girlie, get back over here, what you doing? Or you can get detained. You can go girlie, go Lulu, go. Yeah, you can get detained. You can go girlie, go. She's looking for my attention, so I'm gonna have to get off of here in a minute, because she like, I want your attention, your undivided attention. That's rightfully so. So go Lulu, go. Yeah, you can get detained. You can get pushed for the next day or the next week or the next month. If they go for a month, usually they just put you on that what's the name, and they'll usually kick you off the airline. So you might not be able to fly, say for instance, Southwest or Delta. So you would have to fly but if it's really tough and you done did something just dumb, like going on the aircraft and saying the B word, and you know what I'm talking about, the one that says kaboom. Yeah, because you could definitely get on a no-fly for that. You can go to jail for that one too. So be careful. I had to catch myself too by saying that, because you know how you be like, oh, this was so good, this is the B, right? Don't say that, yo. Don't. So yeah, so it was people who literally had to go through that, and it was just like, wow, like this is really happening. It's really coming to that. You tired, Lulu? You tired, girlie? Yes, she is. She's like, whatever. So those are a couple of things that I kind of learned from here. Oh my God, this guy trying to go to sleep. Let me be quiet while I'm being so loud. Usually in this area, because this is a really good place to sleep, because people don't go into this park unless they're barbecuing, they're having a picnic, because there's so many other parks. Literally, I live downtown in Fort Wayne, and you have about 3 parks within walking range. One is right behind the other. So, but this one, since it's older and it's headwaters and it's big. It's huge. It's across the, it's on this side of the street, you know, and then it's across the street and a little bit further. So, well, actually it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because I forgot over here when you get to the skate park. So you got a lot of that. And yeah, I forgot that this part is where most of the homeless come out here if they need to relax and they go and sleep. I'm not going to show you exactly where they are because someone is actually there. But maybe, I don't even know if I should show that during this time because people who don't even understand, a lot of the homeless have been getting attacked lately. It's just weird. So I try to be respectful of their time and what's going on with them, and also keep their privacy. You know, that's one thing that you lose when you're homeless. So but yeah, I usually walk in this park. That's why and hardly no one is here around this time. Like earlier in the morning they are, but they still get up because they have to get their meals. If they're getting their meals, they're going to go to the Mission, which is the largest shelter here. And they feed everybody. They feed breakfast, lunch, dinner, and it's not just to the homeless. It's people who are old. They don't have no place to eat, then they can eat there. If it's, you know, and they're feeding everybody. So if you get bored, you get lonely, you get depressed, go over there, talk to people and all that other stuff. So come here, Lulu. So that's where it's at. So I was really surprised. Come here. Come here. I was really surprised when I saw, girl, why are you wet? She look, ugh. Girl, you look a mess. Sit down. Okay. Hold on. We about to go back home. We not about to do all that. Okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna that's all I wanted to show you guys. Come on. You don't have to bow. Come on. We're just walking. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. I want to say thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for listening to my channel. Like I said, I know that there's 12,000 other channels that are on here, especially more and more. I'm looking now, it's more and more people who are trying to advertise for the city of Fort Wayne. And I'm sitting here like, I know this is a lot of publicity because especially since they've been named the American City. But there's American City for who? But we're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone. Because it's definitely a American city. It definitely is an American city. But I don't know if it's American for everybody, you know. But like I said, you guys are looking at me. You guys seen my videos. You know I tell the truth. I don't care. I'm not sponsored by anyone. So I'm going to be very honest, okay? If I was a person of non-color, this would be a perfect place to live. When I say perfect, everything about it perfect. But because I'm not, I've seen firsthand how people treat you. I've seen firsthand the mentality of individuals who think that they are more superior than you due to the color of their skin, due to what they think they have over you because of the color of your skin, because they think that you have less. You are not educated. They think, yeah. So, and that's not all of them, because there are some of them that like, y'all, it's like extremes. When I say extremes, it's either some of them that just love the love. They want to know everything. They want to touch everything. Or it's what I said before. And the higher you go, the more you see some of the latter things that I just was talking about than the other version of people. The higher you go. That's so yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Thank you.